Hello everyone, it's the Memer, and today I'm going to be explaining the fundamentals of zero ticks. Now, I'm pretty sure you've heard that zero ticking is powering and depowering a redstone component within the same game tick. With that said, how do you do that? You gotta first ask yourself this question. Given two components that take the same amount of time to power, which will always turn on first or turn on last? And it might seem contradictory to think, oh, that's faster, so it should retract later. But in a given interval of time, such as a game tick, we need to know when components will power and depower. And what I mean by components are generally sticky pistons or lamps, but or pistons. But the most useful application of it is sticky pistons, generally speaking, because they, minus the player input, which is one game tick, sticky pistons take about 2 game ticks to extend and retract. So if you incorporate the player input, that'll be 3 game ticks or 0.15 seconds. Now, once we understand what zero ticking is, there is 2 ways of achieving a zero tick, and that is tile tick priority and block event delay, or BED. Tile tick priority is when certain redstone components power or depower in the tick, and I can illustrate this as an example. So let's say we have this famous zero tick, right? I'm pretty sure people have shown them, but not explain how they fully work, maybe, but I'll try to explain this to the best of my abilities. Let's say I have a observer here and a repeater here. Then I have 2 dots like that. And then I place a block here. This will zero tick after 2 game ticks because, right? So you see this hopper, I think if I remember correctly, has a tile tick priority of 1, and this repeater, it has a tile tick priority of 0, and this repeater has a tile tick priority of -1. Even though it has a lower tile tick priority, the one with the lower tile tick priority often indicates which powers first, meaning this will always power before that. Meaning, even though these 2 power the same components at the same time, due to the the coding of this game, it will always tell this repeater to turn on before that, and it's completely reliable for that fact. Even though, again, even though it happens technically at the same time, it happens at the same interval of time during the game tick. I hope I'm making sense so far, but you can have a comparator and it would still produce the same effect, or even a torch for that matter. But the main idea with tile tick priorities is you want 2 components that even though they turn on in the same interval, one will turn on before the other in that same interval, if that makes sense. Now, block event delay will tell when a sticky pistons redstone components will turn on at that tick. This is telling the components, but this is another similar idea. So I'm sure you've seen this redstone blockchain, what it is, right? And you might be wondering, well, not only does it retract at the same time, as you can see, these all retract at the same time. But if you've seen, let me try showing you a setup, right? Like right here. And I power this sticky piston, right? And of course I'm going to get an obsidian to prevent it from extending. and I'm going to get 3 redstone blocks. Oh, by the way, I'll show you after this, but budding adds block event delay. If you see this, and you see that these retract at the same time, but you might be wondering, well, how do these retract at the same time? Well, let me tell you, these redstone blocks add block event delay, meaning that first, this sticky piston will retract, and then 3 microticks later, this sticky piston will start to extend and retract. Even though it happens later in the tick, it's this, again, it's the idea of happening in an interval of time, and that's what matters. So the idea is why redstone block chaining is so useful is you'll see it in a fair bit of 0.45 second 3x3s and 0.9 5x5s at the top, is you'll see them use redstone blocks, and that simply is telling, it's just commanding when sticky pistons fire, because I can show the layout for the 0.45 second 3x3 real quick. Basically, we have this swapper layout, and you can in order to get this to happen right, you have it closed. But in order for all these blocks to end up here, right, you need bed, because, let me first actually reset it. Because the first thing that needs to happen is this needs to depower in the tick. And then 3 microticks later, this will grab it. And then another 3 microticks later, this will grab it. And the reason why you generally need 3 microticks, like why you need 3 redstone blocks, is it just makes it more reliable. Redstone block chaining way more reliable, meaning it's non-locational. And one last thing is you don't need to get Hugh's redstone just like this to get chaining. You could also take advantage of the fact that alright, I'm pretty sure you know that this lever buds the sticky piston, right? But if I had a piston, it'll update that. But it'll this sticky piston will retract 1 microtick later. So if you want it to retract in 0 microticks and you still want to bud it, use a rail or a note block, because those act as instant updaters. But an easy, like with that same setup over there, we can get 3 microticks relatively easy. I mean, there's a fair bit more to 0 tick, but that is the most fundamental ideas. Again, I want to emphasize the main idea of this. In order to power and depower redstone components within the same game tick, you need to utilize tile ticks or block event delay in order to achieve that, because this is literally the method of powering and depowering certain components. Now, it's just, like, again, I hope this makes sense, and peace out. Bye.